Recording should be in progress, and if not, it is now. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Talking to two populations right now, and this is a lab class, so the option was not to not come, because you're going to need to be here in order to touch things. And because we are in this environment where we're in the pandemic and we're not sure about whether we should be in person or virtual, I thought it best to move straight to the experiments so that you could see the application of the techniques that I'm trying to make sure that you know. So you're gonna have to pull from a bunch of knowledge you have already. Anybody hate math? Anybody love math? You like math? Okay, well, we're gonna need somebody that likes math. Anybody like math? Okay, well, we're gonna get there together then, okay? So the previous experiment that, this protocol is for, first of all, we're doing the electrophoresis technique. How much board space do I have? Electrophoresis. For each of these techniques that I'm identifying for you, I want you to know what they are. And so I expect a one-page summary, and I expect a PowerPoint presentation on the technique. Why am I asking you this? First of all, it says in the syllabus, which you are going to be getting today, that you're going to be learning these techniques. But even before the syllabus, why did I want you to learn these techniques? If you are actually applying somewhere and they want you to prove it by talking about it, then you're going to need to know what to say, right? So write it now. And if you're a visual person and you talk better with figures, get them now. That's what the Word document is of you writing your one-page description. The PowerPoint, that is also your help when it comes time to actually talk about it. You will have found these things, you will have the references for all of the things that you are finding, and for each of these different techniques, you'll have resources. It's good not only for an interview, but when it comes time to do these experiments, you're going to need to have your information stored somewhere. And so I'm having you create right now up front the resource folder that you'll need. Okay? That's why I'm having you do what you're doing. Okay. Now that I got that out the way, this formula came from BioRad. All of the information that we are covering, I want you to know, because if it came time to you really talking about it, I want you to have everything that you need in order to have a sensible conversation. So this information is coming from BioRad. If interested, go to the website. You're going to end up at the website anyway, because everything that we are working with is your inventory. So you should know what you're working with, right? The worst thing that you can do as a research student, research assistant, research whatever you are, is be in a lab and break something and not replace it or not tell anybody. That's not the worst thing, but it's not up at the top of the list. So this thing right here, you guys know what this is, right? At home, what's this? Or wherever you guys are, what's this? Somebody put it in the chat.
A pipette.
It's a pipette. This actually came from a company. This actually has a serial number. This actually should be calibrated every year because it's a very sensitive piece of equipment. You should be able to go online and find this and say how much it costs. You know what I'm saying? So let me see if you have the ability to do that. There's 7 of you here, 4 of you online. Can somebody tell me how much the price of a Gilson, Gilson, micropipette? That's 200 microliters. 200 microliter Gilson pipette. How much does that cost? It's a very interactive class, and I want you guys to see that this stuff really costs money. How much is it? $600 to $1,000, right? It's just laying here. It should be in a rack, right? You can get these as a kit. The kit is like, so 200 microliters, that's less than a milliliter. The most that this goes to is 1,000 microliters, which is a milliliter. So if you don't already know, you're gonna need to know the difference between the English system of measurement and the SI units. System, the S is that system, I is international units. Shouldn't be doing that. Not in the lab. Because right here, this is not the English system. You're talking about liters, right? That's the SI units. So we would be talking about what gallons and cups, but you need to be talking about liters, okay? So let's go through the protocol and see what we're supposed to do. Now, as you guys remember, I'm always going to go back to the story about how hard it was to figure out this whole stuff, because as people in the lab, you should know it's not a flow, it's not a smooth thing. Anybody been in the lab before? Does it work 100% of the time? Of course not. You got to keep doing it over and over and figuring out what's going on. You have to trace your steps back. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're working with. So I'm like really on it about that, because honestly, I'm working with somebody that I worked with back in 2007. He's asking me questions about the animals that I worked with in 2007. He wanted to know when the animals were born. And I'm like, I have the information in my lab notebook, so I have to dig in my lab notebook. But that's what you should have. Everything is digital nowadays, but you guys know what a lab notebook looks like, right? It's that book that's bound. You can't really rip the pages out. It's a legal document. The information that you're getting in this lab, it's supposed to go into your lab notebook. And if you discover something and they come to find out, what did you do? They want to see what you did. And if it doesn't add up, then that's not honest, or you can't believe the data. And so it's really important that you keep track of all the stuff that you're doing. So for people that consider this like something that they're really interested in, get one of those bound notebooks. For people that are not so interested but want to just do this for the class, you still need a lab notebook. So that means that you need to document what you're doing digitally. So when I say, let me see a lab notebook, you have something to show me. I do both ways, because I always want to have access to my information. I don't want to carry about a big book. Does that make sense? Okay. So this original protocol was for HeLa cells. HeLa cells are important cells that we should all know about. You're getting a mixture of science and history and math and all this other stuff. Anybody in the chat, what's HeLa cells? Tanya, you know. Naira, you know. Leah, you know. Maya, morning. I don't think they're going to answer. It's virtual. That's what happens with you guys. But you guys are here.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
It's an immortal cell line used in scientific research.
Hey, did you look that up? No, I mean, I want you guys are all sitting in front of computers, not looking stuff up. See, we need to talk. Talk. Yes, put both of those answers together. Henrietta Lacks was a black lady. She lived in Virginia. They took, when they were trying to grow up cells, you know how you can grow cells now out the body? They couldn't figure out how to do it. And when she went to the hospital because she had some type of cervical cancer, they took her cells without permission. She didn't even have any, like, a lot of money. And so she went home. She still got a family up in Baltimore, Maryland. But they were like struggling, and then she died. And then, you know, they're mourning their mother. And then 20 years later, you find out somebody got your mother's cells. Your mother's cells been to the moon. Your mother's cells been underwater. They the cure for polio. All these, and didn't get no money. They're making trillions off of your mother, off of you without permission. And then you want to try to sue, but it's past the years of statute of limitation. Sound like that, right? Did I get it right? Go read it. If you don't want to read it,
Yes, you got it right.
Oprah made a movie that kind of hits on it. She's in it. You know, I get so deep into reading and stuff that I actually look for those people. They're real people. That could be like your mother. And we all related, right? That is like your peoples. So it's important that we, as a people, are involved in science because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. How you doing? Okay, just making sure you're here with us. So the point is, lab notebook, you need to capture the information. Make sure you know what you're talking about. So this original protocol was meant to work with her cells. I think I have some of her cells in the freezer. I don't want to really work with her cells, though, you know. But I have brain cells, and I have other types of cells that we can work with because we're interested in proteins, and proteins are in all cells. But we're still going to have to do the math that goes along with this. So here's your protocol that you need to capture, okay? My step ones and step twos may shift because as things happen, protocol changes, right? Okay. Like this one, it says prepare a 1x Langley buffer. That is true. Step one, prepare a 1x ideally, and this is what the exam is, so it's not ideally. It is what it is. I should be able to leave you in a room with your protocol and come back and get a Western. So that's what's going to happen. Make sure you write this stuff down. If you don't write this stuff down, you might as well just be like, just like, I don't know. I don't want to say go home, but I want to like act like it's going to be okay. And I don't think you guys talk enough to consider your neighbor like somebody you can depend on right now. But you're going to need a 1x Langley buffer. I love the fact that you guys don't ask questions like, what is a Langley buffer? But I have an answer if somebody does ask. Okay, go to BioRad and look up Langley buffer. But while you're there, get the catalog number because that's part of your inventory. I can help you though. I can guide you in the right direction. And then once you get the catalog number, these are the things that you should be getting for each of the products that you're working with. Maybe in an Excel spreadsheet, you put this stuff. I have mine in an Excel spreadsheet. Makes it easier. So in an Excel spreadsheet, you should be capturing. Actually, let's do it like this. The product, whatever you're talking about, right? Right now it's Langley buffer. Then you're going to capture product or the catalog number. because that has a catalog number. It's going to tell you how to take care of whatever you're working with. You can go anywhere with this training and survive. It'll be good. All my people get like, you know. What else do you think you need? What do you think you need? You want to get it? You got the company, got the catalog number. What else do you need? Your price, right? Anything else? Well, I'm just like you guys, right? Anything else? I have like an extra one that's like that's just a website. So once I find it, oh, I also have the company. I gotta know which company had it. So this would look like this. BIO411. Product would be catalog number. What was it? Somebody tell me what the catalog number was. You might see a couple there, right? So this information will be on the bottle. I'm gonna go to get the bottle once somebody tells me which numbers it could be. Also, I want the price. And the website, that's just a click and paste. I mean, a copy and paste, right? But for each of these things, you're really like, if this was a, I always compare my stuff to war, because this is kind of like a war for your minds, right? You just got some major ammo, because I showed you how to set it up so that if anybody ever asks you about anything, you can just quickly hit the website, and the website will send you right there, and you'll not be like talking secondhand. This will actually be the information. So you can say, according to da 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 da. And on that website, there's going to be like information about storage. Should it be in the fridge? Should it be in room temperature? Should it be at like -20? Should it be in the freezer? Should it be at -80? Because if you're actually doing an experiment, you want to know where the stuff is. So far, we are almost done with the first step. This protocol, they were nice enough to put the serial or the catalog number here. So does anybody see the catalog number? What is it? 07 what? 37. Well, this is 0747, right? So there's been an update, and on my protocol, I would change and put the date that I noticed that there's a change. Does that make sense? I gotta keep track because we gotta stay like sharp. So Langley buffer, can somebody tell me how it comes? It should be a 4x, right? 4x Langley buffer. You guys see that? We have to make it a 1x. How do we do that? This is like real protocol. We can't get to the next step unless we actually do the math and figure it out. But I can tell you the total volume that we need. The total volume that we need, this is so fun, 400 microliters. So we need to make a 1x Langley buffer. And the Langley buffer comes as a 4x solution. We have to make it 1x. You have a 2x. Okay, so we have to make or a 2x solution. So whichever one we get, we have to make it a 1x. 2x sounds easy, right? 2x is just like what, half? But that's not what we have in the lab. We got a 4x. But the total volume we need is 400 microliters. Everybody needs to do this. If this first step broke you, I'm here to help rebuild you. But this it only gets more scientific from here. You ready to move to the next step? Anybody at home want to tell me the answer, Naira? Huh? Total volume is 400 microliters of a 4x family solution. How much water or how much do we have to dilute it? I'm not going with your 30 mils. It's way too much. 30 mils? That's microliters.
I mean, yeah, can you take however so many microliters?
Sterling. Oh, he's just signing it. Okay.
Yeah. So 10 mils of water.
Is that 10 mils?
Yeah, it's 10 mils of water.
That's 10 mils, right. That it comes as a 10 mil solution. That's correct.
Right. So for me to get the 1x, what's not dilute by adding 30 mils to the 4x?
Yes, but we don't need a total of 40 mils.
But we need a whole bunch of 1x solution. We need to prepare the 1x.
We need 400 microliters of the 1x. We have to take some from that, and then we have to add it to make that. But you're right with the dilution.
Okay.
But we would have just wasted the whole bottle right then. So that's why we're doing a walkthrough. Does everybody understand? No? Okay. How do I do it at home? If this was not science. Kool-Aid. Anybody ever made Kool-Aid? No? Anybody ever made Kool-Aid? Your Kool-Aid is 4 times concentrated. And you want to make it 1 time concentrated. You want to make it the right concentration. How would I do that? Anybody know that one? Your Kool-Aid is 4 times as red as it should be. Anybody? No? You guys got to see it, right? Want me to show you? This is 4 times concentrated. Actually, I'm not going to draw a picture. There's a formula for this. What's the formula? I give you concentration and volume. Let's get real science on you guys. Because that's what we're talking about, right? Concentration and volume. Once you get the formula, I won't have to draw no pictures, squares and shading and all this other stuff. Y'all can't just look at me. Somebody get on to computer and figure this out. Y'all gotta move forward. The reason I said let's start this is because you gotta get through this. I'm here to help you, but you gotta not just stare at me. You gotta give me some answers. And there's a formula for this. It's concentration and volume related. How do I figure? I just ask Google straight up. How do I figure out how to turn a 4x solution into a 1x solution? But we need the answer. And when we get the answer, you got to write it in your protocol. So the next time you do this, you're not looking like this. You're not stuck. Because remember, it's time dependent. So far, we have gone by a half an hour of class. And we're working together. So once one person gets it, you can share it. It's okay to give a wrong answer. Okay. If it's a 2x solution, let's lose that as an example. Since you said that. Huh? Right. So what does that mean? Tell me what I need to do. Water, right? So you just cut it in half. That's correct for the 2x. But we don't have 2x. So what he said is, if this was a 2x solution, then you would take 200 microliters of the 2x and 200 microliters of water, DDW, still deionized water. That would equal 400 microliters, and now we'll turn that 2x into a 1x. Does everybody see that? Like if your Kool-Aid is 2 times concentrated, you just add the equal amount of water. But I need the math though, and I need the formula, because you're going to use the formula again. If you didn't hear what he said, and you didn't make friends, you can ask him. But look at him, he's happy and he's gone to work. Do you know the answer? Are you with us? You sure? Yes, no. It's okay. Guess what? The good news. I have good news. We've gotten past the first step, which means that we should not have to struggle anymore on the first step. There aren't too many steps here. But now that we got past the first step, you should be good, which means that if you are left in a room and you need to take a 4x solution and turn it into a 1x solution, do you know what to do? Who does not know what to do still? I can go over it. He's already given the answer, so I can say it out loud.
Can you say it, please?
I'm about to say it, but I'm about to display it. I'm not gonna display it though. That's what this says, right? They said we're the Harvard of the South.
Who said that?
They said that. Can I erase something? Y'all got this at home? It's recorded. Don't worry about it. Y'all don't care about it anyway. Let's go. I'm gonna keep this. Remember, I'm serious about that spreadsheet. When we come talking about what do we use, and we say Lamley buffer, the board is yours. You don't have to look at the camera. He just did not know he volunteered, but
No, I did not. All right, so
it's okay. Y'all gonna help him?
we have, oh, this is not right one, dude. So, okay. I'm like, dude, I'm on.
We got red. So it's in red. You can see it at home.
All right, cool. So we have the 4-time solution, and we want the 1-time solution.
That's
So
correct.
Usually,
Did you find the formula yet?
so I'm kind of gonna try and walk.
Okay. Okay. Just go through.
Because I'm walking it myself too.
Okay. And while you guys are at home, you guys can help them by finding this formula. It's a formula that relates concentration and volume. I'm going to come around to you guys.
All right.
Concentration and volume, the relationship. Right.
Okay.
That's Google.
So we want to find our quickest way to get a quarter concentration in 400 microliters. Yeah, these are not good.
He's not wrong. He's unorthodox.
It's the ADHD. Yeah, it's the ADHD. So, all right. So with that being said, I like to just start off with hundreds, just because it's easiest. When I was doing like my cooking math and everything, it's like you don't have a calculator. Any of those right there. I'm dying out here. Oh, you got it.
I know it. It's like that. Of course. There's some relationship to it. Let's see it.
Oh, keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
All right. So I just started off.
I wanna verify. So the first concentration was what?
So now we're gonna refer back to this ratio up here, right? The 1 to 4 is equal to a quarter. So we want the 1. Now we're at a 4. So then we want to basically get a quarter of this concentration, which I kind of repeated myself. But for you to get that, the same ratio, so you have 100 of the 4. So then to make 400 microliters, you want 300 microliters of your DW, which essentially gives you that 1-4 ratio again, because you had 100 of your 4 times ratio into 400 of your 1 time. So for you to get from 100 to 400, you need 300 of your W. That probably was not clear at all. Oh yeah, we need to.
Good job. Thank you. Thank you. So he is correct. You need 300 for the DDW. The relationship is a C1V1 equals C2V2. And on the side of the board over there, I'm going through the experiment. But what I wanted you to pull up, if you hadn't pulled up, let's see. Whenever you are switching between people that need to see what I'm showing right now that you're at home is this. C1V1 equals C2V2. And in our mind, we walk ourselves, we have it right here. We walk ourselves through this. The main point of this, so after we did all of this, we got through step 1, is you're gonna take 300 microliters of water, and you're gonna take 100 microliter of the 4x solution. And that will turn that 4x solution into a 1x solution. Does everybody have that? Y'all good? So I can leave y'all in the room and y'all will make a 1x solution. Good job. Huh? All you have to do is take a pipette. See, this is a 200 microliter pipette. You would take 100 microliters with this 200 microliter pipette, and then you would have another pipette where you would take 300 microliters. When you put 100 and 300 together, 4x, you're basically diluting your water. The math, but why are we doing it? Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad. So if you have any questions, I'm here to help you. And we just want to make sure that we understand the step before we get to the next step. Huh? I said it wrong? Okay. We just want to make sure we get into the next step. So now we have a 1x solution, okay? And we are going to mix that 1x solution with our sample. They are assuming that we have collected about 400 micrograms of sample, 400 micrograms of tissue. In order to figure out the concentration of tissue that we have, we would do spectrophotometry. We're going to skip over the spectrophotometry step and just assume that we have actually collected 400 micrograms of tissue. The whole point of this experiment is they want you to have, see how this equals 400 microliters? They want you to have 400 micrograms and 400 microliters, which is basically 1 microgram per microliter. They want an equal amount. So if you are doing an experiment and you actually didn't come up with 400 micrograms, you'll just match it with the same amount of microliters. Does that make sense? Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you can't control how much you gather back from an experiment. Okay, and I just wrote this for the people at home. That was step 2. That was easy. Now we've done 2 steps. And the last part of step 2 was the vortex. So I'm gonna erase this. He got us to the point where we know so in parentheses, this is 300 microliters of DDW and 100 microliters of 4X. And so we gotta figure out what Langley buffer is. Combine with 400 micrograms of tissue and vortex. What's vortex? Vortex? Not centrifuge. Vortex. Put the vortex back here. I used to bring my daughter to work. I was in the lab. This is one of the favorite machines. This shakes up. She's like, when it comes to always be on, or the test activated, when you test on it, and then this is not supposed to be coming off. It still works. People at home, we had a meeting. They were trying to figure out this whole teaching thing. I told them what I was doing. They said, "You do all of that?" So this is a vortex. And when it's on, when you apply pressure, it gives you a mixing. And so for 5 seconds, you should be mixing your tissue sample in this Langley bucket. Huh? Does that make sense? So you're basically taking an equal amount of liquid, an equal amount of sample, you're vortexing it for 5 seconds. Of course, to mix it. And then you're going to transfer it. Now you're at step 3. These steps aren't really that bad. It's understanding why you're doing what you're doing. That's probably the bad part. Once you get it, it makes sense, I guess, maybe. Step 3, can y'all see this? Or should I start? Or should I erase all of this and start up at the top? Erase it? No? Y'all just give me so much feedback. Step 3. Transfer sample. I should have better ones, right? Can y'all see this, me writing on the board at home?
A little bit.
Y'all need to say something. Don't just be like sitting at home or wherever you are, not seeing. Transfer sample. Solution to a 1.5 microliter. That's not microliter, that's milliliter. Micro test tube. I guess the lesson here is that we should make sure we have everything that we need before we start. Because we've only gotten to the 3rd step, and we need to have a micro test tube. Who knows what a micro test tube is? I know you know. Anybody else? He knows. Everybody's doing. If you know what a micro test tube is, let me see. You know what it is? Yeah. Huh? Well, if you know what a centrifuge is, especially like one of those desktop ones, a microcentrifuge tube is actually those small conical tubes that go into the centrifuge. Bad thing about this class is that it's an hour long, which means that we need to come in and bust through these first 3 steps, like, because the 4th step, which is the step that I'll end on, which is this class, is we need to heat the sample for 10 minutes at 70 degrees Celsius. It's sample. Which means we should probably know the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit and Kelvin, right? All of these are SI units in our different ways of measuring heat. Is that hot? Is that our body temperature or lower or higher? Does anybody know? I hear you. Is that lower, higher? Lower, higher? Lower, higher? We'd be dead. What are we? 37? Heard of that, right? We are 37 comes to C. What are we when it comes to F? 98 point, that's the thing. Can you come in the building? That's that. So there's a difference. And the equation for that, conversion between it, I think like 5/9, and it's like 32 equals, when you convert it, you want to find out Fahrenheit, which is the bigger one. What is that? 32C, so whatever the temperature, 32, and then basically double. And then I drop Fahrenheit. So then you can go backwards by whatever the temperature is in Fahrenheit, taking away 32, and then basically dividing it by. That's a rough way of figuring it out. So just to go over the first 4 steps, you're going to need to take Langley buffer, whatever that is. Go to BioRad because it should be in the inventory. Not only that, the microtest tube should be in the inventory. Even the vortex, maybe. Everything that you're using, right? You need to make sure you have it and it works. That's basically the point. You're gonna mix it with the solution. You're gonna vortex it, and then you're gonna heat it for 10 minutes. If everybody shows me that they know how to do that step, then it will be done so that when you come back in, the next thing you have to do is continue. But if everybody doesn't show up on time, whoever is there is going to have to continue it forward. So this is a class where you actually have to stay focused. All right, I'm going to take attendance. Don't disappear, online people. We also learned an equation about the relationship between concentration and volume. All of these things you're going to need again because you're going to have to switch a solution that's 10x to a 1x. And then you're also going to have to switch a solution that's 10x to a 2x. And you want to make sure that you're doing it consistently each time, the same way. Okay. Alexandria, you are here. Ada, Jamani, Kirk, Keisha, Leah,
Here.
Richard, that's you? Lido? I had you before, right? Tashik, Breon, Bahia. She's supposed to be over there. Tanya, Sophia.
I'm sorry, I know you called me. Should I say here, not here? What?
I see
No.
it. I just said your name to see if you were there. Like Maya.
Okay.
Here.
Hi Maya, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Fine. Salmon. I got everybody. The only two people, Jamani and Maya. Maya. Okay. Everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you later. If you have any issues with this, just let me know.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mhm.